Long ago, an old farmer lived with his wife and their son, Thomas. As years passed, the farmer became sick, and soon passed away, leaving his wife and son alone. "Oh, my poor husband," the woman cried. "He was such a good man. How could this happen?" For many days, she wept. Thomas tried to comfort her, but she could not stop crying. Then, her sadness turned to worry. At night, she looked at the sky and whispered, "What are we going to do? How shall we live?" After some weeks, she became strong again and made plans. Her husband had left £200. When almost all their food was gone, she gave Thomas £100 and said, "Go to the village, my son. Buy salt, flour, and bread. I hope this will last until spring." Thomas walked to the village. As he passed the butcher's shop, he saw a crowd. The butcher had tied an old dog to a post, and was beating it. "Butcher, why are you hurting this poor dog?" Thomas shouted. "He ate my best meat this morning," the butcher said. "He was only hungry," said Thomas. "Let me buy him. I'll give you £100. The butcher laughed. "You must be mad, but all right, take him." Thomas untied the dog and said softly, "I'll call you Chester. You'll live safely with my mother and me." The dog licked his face with joy. When Thomas came home, his mother was very angry. "You've spent all our money on a dog. We have nothing left," she shouted. "This loaf is our last food. That's supper tonight." Thomas tried to explain, "Mother, this dog will bring us luck." But she wouldn't listen. That night, he shared his small piece of bread with Chester. The next day, Thomas's mother gave him the last £100. "Do not waste this. Buy food, or we shall starve." Thomas promised and went to the village. On the way, he saw a boy dragging a cat with a rope. "Stop!" Thomas cried. "Why are you hurting her?" "She stole my mother's biscuit," said the boy. "I shall throw her in the river." "I'll buy her," said Thomas. "Here, take £100. The boy laughed, but agreed. Thomas held the cat in his arms. "Your name will be Whiskers," he said. When Thomas came home with the cat, his mother became furious. "You've done it again. Get out of my house and take your animals with you." So Thomas left home with Chester and Whiskers. They walked for days until they reached a village near the Yorkshire moors. There, they met a vicar. "Hello, young man," said the vicar. "Do you need work?" "Yes," said Thomas. "Work for me 3 years. You'll get food and shelter, and when it ends, you'll be paid well." Thomas worked hard for 3 years. When the time ended, the vicar said, "You may choose your reward. Gold, silver, or this bag of sand." Thomas thought, if he offers sand, it must mean something. "I'll take the sand," he said. The vicar smiled and gave it to him. The bag was heavy, but Thomas carried it with Chester and Whiskers. After days of walking, they came to a dark forest. In the middle of it, a fire burned around a young woman tied to a tree. "Help me, please," she cried. "Save me, and I shall bring you good luck forever." Thomas ran and threw the bag of sand on the fire. The flames died out. "Thank you. You've saved my life," she said. "I am the daughter of the King of Fairies. An evil sorcerer tried to destroy me." She gave Thomas a golden ring. "This is a magic ring. It can give you anything you wish. But never tell anyone its secret, or you shall suffer." Then she turned into a dove and disappeared into the forest. Thomas looked at the ring. "We'll never be poor again," he told Chester and Whiskers. He threw the ring from one hand to the other, and suddenly, 10 young men appeared. "Oh, master, tell us what you want," they said. "Take us home to my mother," Thomas said. They returned home. His mother wept with joy. "My son, can you forgive me?" "There's nothing to forgive," Thomas said. "Our life will be happy now." Thomas used the ring secretly to bring food, clothes, and comfort. They lived well for many months. Then, he thought about marriage. "Mother," he said, "please go to the king and ask if I may marry his daughter." "Thomas, that's impossible," she said. "The king will never agree." But Thomas insisted. At the palace, the king laughed. "A farmer's son wants my daughter? Bring me rich gifts. Then we'll talk." Thomas used the ring to make gold, jewels, and fine clothes. His mother brought them to the palace, and the king was amazed, but still unhappy. The chancellor said, "If this young man is truly wise, he must build a palace beside yours, a silver bridge with trees of gold and silver fruit, and a great cathedral, by morning. If not, he and his mother shall die." When the king woke the next morning, everything was there. The shining palace, the silver bridge, and the cathedral. He had to agree to the marriage. The princess and Thomas married, and for a time, they lived happily, but the princess was proud and curious. "How did you do all this?" she asked sweetly, again and again. Thomas never told her. One night, she gave him too much wine, and he told her about the ring. When he fell asleep, she took it and wished herself and the whole palace away to another kingdom. The next morning, Thomas woke alone. The king locked him in a tall tower with no food or water. Chester the dog came and saw what happened. He told Whiskers, "We must help him." They stole bread from the village and brought it to Thomas every day. When a year passed, Chester said, "We must find the magic ring." They crossed mountains, rivers, and the sea. At last, they found the princess's palace. She still wore the ring. Only a mouse could reach her chamber. So Chester and Whiskers went to the Mouse Kingdom and asked for help. The Mouse King sent a brave little mouse to steal the ring whilst the princess slept. The next morning, Chester and Whiskers had the ring. Whiskers carried it in her mouth and climbed onto Chester's back. They crossed the sea again and returned to Thomas. Whiskers climbed the tower wall and threw the ring through the window. Thomas caught it, threw it from one hand to the other, and the 10 young men appeared. He ordered food and music. Soon, everyone in the village heard the music, even the king. When the king saw that Thomas was alive, he forgave him and listened to the whole story. Thomas said kindly, "Please don't punish your daughter." The king was touched and let her live. That night, Thomas used the ring to bring back the palace, the bridge, and the cathedral. In the morning, the king saw them shining again and was full of joy. The princess finally understood Thomas's goodness and grew to love him. Thomas's mother came to live with them in the grand palace. She often said, "My son's kindness brought us everything." They lived happily together ever after. And Chester and Whiskers stayed by Thomas's side all their days.